Hey, my name's Keith Groover, and today I want to talk about this instrument I've invented called the Glide. This is something that I've been developing over the last year and a half, and it's a melodic instrument, so it plays one note at a time. I started to think about what would it be like to have an instrument that is based completely around an accelerometer. What all could you do with it? What all could you change just by manipulating acceleration? So, in my two hands, I've got 6 different accelerometers, 3 in this one, 3 in this one. They control 3 different directions of acceleration. And by using all of these and using just 5 buttons, 3 on this hand, 2 on this hand, you can play, thousands of different possible notes. You can play thousands of different possible levels of volume. You can control vibrato, and you can make melody lines with a level of expression that I think is unprecedented. So let me walk through how you play this thing. I've got 2 controllers. The left-hand controller is what I pick a pitch with, what I pick a note with. I've got 3 different buttons, and then with my right hand, these buttons are what I control the octave with. The way to actually make a note is I'll select a note, like for instance, this is middle C. I'm going to take my right hand, just go, and if I play softly, I get a soft note. If I play hard, I get a loud note. In the left hand, I can choose a bunch of different notes. And also with my left hand, I can change the volume level. I can change the dynamic level. So for instance, I can go. In my right hand, you can also see that I can control vibrato. So after I play a note, I can do this. I can get different kinds of vibrato depending on how I control this hand. So I can get a very wide kind of operatic vibrato where I can get more of a narrow rock and roll vibrato. And a whole bunch of different other kinds and other styles. But the thing that I am most excited about with this instrument is where the name of the instrument comes from. Is a technique that enables me to go from one note to another note smoothly and easily. So what I do with this is I play one note, and then I choose another note over in the left hand, and then just leaning my hand backwards, I go to that note. Then I go back to that. And I can do melody lines where it sounds like it sounds a lot like the human voice, where it's just going from one note to another note smoothly. So So using just these 2 controllers, I can do dozens and dozens of different notes. Using the joystick, I can actually make all of the sharps and flats. So for instance, there's my C again. If I do that, it just raises the note up a half step. And it doesn't matter what note it is, it will raise it up a half step. And if I want to go flat, do a flat note. Like that. So left and right on my joystick make sharps and flats. Now, forward and backwards transpose. And there's 2 different kinds of transposition. One is called chromatic transposition, one is called diatonic transposition. Chromatic transposition allows you to go from any note to any other note. So for instance, I'm in the key of C. If I want to play in the key of E, all I have to do is play an E while holding down on the joystick. And now the whole instrument has been transposed into the key of E. Now what's kind of fun about this is that every time I play a note with the chromatic transposition, it will go up that number of half steps. So for instance, I'm in the key of E. If I hold down this note, it'll go up a whole step. But if I do it with the transposition, it'll go up a whole step, then another whole step, then another whole step, another whole step. And I can do a whole tone scale that way. I can do the opposite if I hold down these. You gotta go down by half steps. So that's chromatic transposition. You can imagine there are all sorts of ways that you could figure out different chords, different arpeggios, just using different patterns with the left hand. The other kind of transposition, if I push up, is called diatonic transposition. And this is especially fun because what this does is it allows you to stay in one key, but you can zoom up or zoom down the scale, or zoom up or zoom down arpeggios really easily. So again, if I just hold down a note, in this case I'm going to go up 2 notes. So I've got and now I'm going to go down 2 notes. And I can do, chords that way. So I go, and then I can go down. So this is kind of a fun way to improvise, and I can just kind of zoom all around the instrument without having to do all the intricacies with the left hand. So I can get like, like that. Whenever I first started designing this instrument, a central motivation for me was to make something that had a smooth learning curve. I'm a music educator myself. I've taught guitar for years and years and years, and I can see how frustrating learning an instrument can be for a beginner especially. With this instrument, I've designed it so that even if you've never played an instrument before, you can get something out of it. You can spend 5 minutes on it and be able to play a few notes. But if you spend thousands of hours on it, you're going to get more and more out of it. There's a lot of expression that can be done with the tools that are in this. Something else that was really important to me whenever I designed this is that I made it so that it would be affordable for everyone, because I want people to be able to play this regardless of how much money they might have to throw around on something. I designed this instrument so that you wouldn't have to invest a lot of money into it, but if you invested your time into it and your energy into it, the more you would get out of it. It was extremely important to me that I made this affordable, because I want the next Jimi Hendrix of the Glide to be able to pick this up regardless of how much money he or she has, regardless of how old he or she is. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in learning more about the Glide or about learning how to get one for yourself, go to the website, theglide.cc. And also subscribe to our channel. We're going to be uploading a lot more content with a lot more cover songs, a lot more instructional videos, and more. I appreciate it. Thank you.